All right, so I ran across this clip, and it's hard for me to ascertain whether or not it's real or it's a skit. And if it is a skit, then it's not no big deal because we see crazy skits all the time. But my whole thing is what is being portrayed is something that we oftentimes, have some familiarity with. We've seen this type of stuff unfold before. Now, in the skit or the clip, whatever it is, the young girl and her young boyfriend, these are teenagers. It may be real because these modern moms are different. Now, I looked at my analytics, and most of the people that watch my channel are between the ages of 25 and 44. So, thank you guys for supporting my content. And the reason why I brought up my analytics is because a lot of us are old enough to know that back in the day, and most of us aren't even old yet. The third biggest demographic is Gen X. I'm millennial. I'm an '80s baby, and what I've seen is I've seen more and more kids, their parents try to become like their friends versus being a mom and a dad compared to back in the day. When I was growing up, my mom and dad both in their 60s, and it wasn't no friendship. It was I'm your mama, I'm your daddy, and that's what it was. So a lot of y'all probably had similar upbringing to what I had. And of course, you always have the friend or family member, cousin, whatever, and they mom and dad, or maybe there was a single parent household and they got away with stuff that a lot of us weren't able to get away with. My mom and dad got divorced, but ain't no way in hell that when I was a teenager, my mama would have allowed me to have a girl in the bed and then ask me, or let's just say it was the other way around. If my mom had a daughter, she wouldn't have the boyfriend in the bed. Number one, the door would not be able to be closed. Number two, and she damn sure not gonna say, "Come in here and fix your boyfriend some food." But anyway, I'm gonna let y'all watch the clip, and I'll be back very briefly.
Amaria, get your ass up and make him some food. He got his leftover spaghetti in there. Make him some more spaghetti. And put his fish that I made him earlier in the air fryer. And warm it up. No. You're his girlfriend. Get your behind. I'm his mom, yes. But you're his girlfriend. I already made the food. Am I right, Jakai?
You be quiet.
You always want to be quiet when I'm right. Look, he put his hands up. Like, he give up. Get your ass up and go warm his food up. The spaghetti is already on the stove. We reheated it. It's good to go. Put his fish in the air fryer because he don't want no microwave soggy fish. Period. So get your ass up and do what you're supposed to do as a girlfriend. Mama can do some things, but mama can't do all things. So, come on, sweetness. This your man. Warm his food up. And feed him. What y'all watching? SpongeBob. You guys are such kids. I just love it. But get...
I just find that to be very, very unbecoming of a mother. Now, just listening to her lingo, she's talking about some period. So she's a younger mother. She's probably no more than 40 years old. I would be surprised if she's over 40. She could very well be over 40, but she most likely is in her 30s. Because those are teenagers. They don't look to be 18 at all. They're probably between 15 and 17 or something like that. They're not that old. They laid up in the bed. She don't want to get up and fix her boyfriend no food. She's telling mom to do it. And the mom is like, "That's your man. She already done cooked the food. You come get the food." So, like I said, back in my day when I was in my teens, my dad, he's a man. Obviously, he would have been like cool to know that I got a girlfriend, and he wouldn't have minded me having my girlfriend in my room. I don't know if he would have allowed me to close the door. But my mom, my mom wasn't going for it. My mom wasn't going for it. And like I said, my mom and dad got divorced. When my mom and dad was still married, my dad might have overrode my mother. And I did have a little girlfriend come over from time to time when I was young. And we were, in my room doing a little touching and hunching. But I wasn't having intercourse back then. I was like maybe 14, 15 when my mom and dad got divorced. So now when my mom and dad did get divorced, and we had the house to ourselves while my mom was at work, that's when we started doing some things, because we was a little older then. And my mom would be working from 7:30 to 7:30 because she was in the medical field. Still is, but she's part-time now, so she don't work those hours anymore. But while my mom in the house, nah. And then you got to think, these are teenagers, so their hormones are raging. She looked like she's super comfortable. They ain't in that room just laying down watching SpongeBob. That young man is getting some erections with that little girl in the bed with him. Believe that. And I don't have no evidence that they hunching. They very well could be. Wouldn't be surprising, because that's what a lot of teenagers do if you give them the opportunity. And then on top of that, the mom seems very liberal. She seems very, okay with what they got going on in that room. And it seemed like the little girl is the mom and she's the daughter. She's trying to come in there and tell the little girl what to do, and the little girl like, no, you do it. You know what I'm saying? Now, I do feel like it's a good thing that she was trying to teach her daughter to feed her boyfriend. Like, they always say the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. I don't know if the little girl can cook yet. And of course, I'm referring to her as a little girl. Like, she's not a child, but she's still a minor. She's not an adult, clearly. And I just think that this kind of, it encourages the wrong idea and the wrong behavior for a young woman like this, because it's not acceptable for most cultures where values and morals are at the center of those cultures. And in the black family, unfortunately, we've lost a lot of our values and a lot of our morals. And then, of course, when you have a single mother-led household, which this probably is a single mother-led household, because ain't no way in the hell a father would allow no young man to be in the bed with his young daughter. He don't want to be around while his daughter's getting deflowered. If every father knows at some point he's going to have to accept his daughter's going to get with some boy, and that young boy is going to he's going to have her so crazy about him that she's going to take her panties off for him. That's just life. We all know it's going to happen. But ain't no real masculine father, he's not going to be there to witness it. He's not going to allow it to happen up under his roof. Not while she's a teenager. Now, if they were married and coming to spend the night with the parents or something like that, he probably wouldn't mind them being in the room with the door closed, because they're adults. But as a teenager, no real father would allow that. Like, yeah, you can come over and visit my daughter, but you're going to sit in the living room on the couch. We're going to sit here and watch TV. We're going to have dinner, whatever. But you're not finna go in her room with the door closed and be laid up in the bed with her. That's just not finna happen. So, who knows? Maybe the little girl on birth control. A lot of young mothers are getting their daughters on birth control. When I was in high school, I went to a mostly white high school, and a lot of the white girls was on birth control because their parents, especially the moms, didn't want them getting pregnant, and they knew that was just part of their culture, and they did it. And you had very few white girls at my high school that ended up pregnant. There were a few black girls that ended up pregnant, maybe about 4 or 5 I can count on one hand. But I guess in the modern era, more and more black mothers are doing the same. And some black mothers, they are okay with it. Some black mothers are not. I'd rather a woman be on birth control and stop herself from getting pregnant than go destroy an unborn baby. Y'all know I don't support destroying babies. I don't believe in that at all. But that's another conversation for another day. So I just found this clip to be very interesting. And like I said, it could be a skit. Maybe it's real. It's a 50-50 chance. You never know these days. Everybody doing skits. But the image, the scenario that you see unfolding, it is something that a lot of us have experienced or have seen some parents allow, because a lot of these younger parents are now trying to behave like they're their children's friends versus their parents, and allowing your daughter to do this. This is not proper parenting. This is not what a loving mother should be allowing her daughter to do. It sends the wrong message, and it's just not okay for her to be starting out like this young. And if her mother's condoning it, ain't no telling what's gonna happen to this little girl growing up. And she might be in love with the little boy. Maybe they'll stick together and get married. You never know. But these are teenagers, so teenagers ain't even fully developed yet. So he might have another girl he's interested in down the road and break her heart. You just never know. But that's all I have to say. I just wanted to react to this video real quick. Any young women that watch my channel, my analytics also tell me my channel is 53% male, 47% female. So it's almost an even split. And I try to put out content that, you know, addresses both male and female behavior. I don't want to be one-sided, because it's both genders that need work. Both of us need to improve in several areas, especially black folks. But without further ado, I'm going to shut the video down. Y'all comment, y'all like, y'all subscribe. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.